What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to yet again another post-commentary duel video. We've got Sekka Mermails versus Mekk Invoked. Pretty interesting matchup, if I would say so myself. My brother piloting Mekk Invoked, and me, of course, piloting Mermails on the left. Now, this video ended up not being need to be sped up at all because it was only about 15 minutes total. After I had gone through and made all the necessary cuts I needed to make, so I didn't really want to bother with speeding it up at all because I felt like it would just be over too fast and things would be a little too quick. So I decided not to speed things up, but we have me getting started here. Going first, I think I won the dice roll, and you know, or he won the dice roll. He wants to go second with his deck. I want to go first with mine. It's sort of a win-win either way. Whether I win, I get what I want, and he gets what he wants, or if I lose, he gets what he wants, and I get what I want. So I start here with Neptibus, sending Dragoons, adding Dragoons and Megalo, but as you can see, my hand has Undying and Controller in it. I just love opening Controller. It's something I seem to do way more often than the average Mermail player, which kind of baffles me a little bit. I just don't understand sometimes what the issue is, and it's just the deck runs perfectly fine anytime I play it on stream or any other time I do test hands with it, but when I sit down to play it in a duel, it's just the curse of the game. I don't know what it is. It just open up really bad. The curse of the camera, whatever it is, open up pretty poorly. Like I didn't open up any other way to search after this play here. I couldn't get into a rank 7. Without just having little to no resources. I could have gone for the swap frog play here a little earlier, granted, but I wanted to sort of play it safe and go into Underclock Taker and then summon Moulin Glacia, not underneath it, because I remember I was playing against Mekk Knights, but then go ahead and do that and go for the play I just made there. But he has Effect Valor, which really hurt. So here I sort of had to value what, like, did I want to go for Moulin, or did I want to go for a more like Link heavy play and try to go for Saryuja? But looking back, if I would have gone for Saryuja, I wouldn't have been able to go for Moulin because I would have had too many waters engraved, and he would have just valored the Saryuja anyways. So like, it was a pretty rough turnout. So I decided to use Swap Frog here afterwards. Now that I know that the Valor is gone, and I can go into Decode, I just link up into Decode. He's a little bit bigger of body. He does give him a down arrow, which isn't too big of a deal. He can make his own link pretty easily in this deck because he is playing Morningstar. Now I know, like, as I'm doing this video, it's about 2 in the afternoon, and I know Shadows in Valhalla literally just released today. No, there is no Invoker of Madness in this build on the right. I'm trying to get those cards. A little hard to come by from where I'm at right now. But I'm gonna work on it. Hopefully, I can get the cards like by the time the weekend is over. That'd be perfect. I need to get a playset of Super Ash. I need to get an Invoker of Madness or Meltdown Invoker, whatever his new name is. I'm just used to calling him the Meltdown Invoker. But here we go with his play, searching Invocation, setting it underneath the Decode. Now, I personally would have summoned the Alistair zone to the right where he is, so he doesn't have to, you know, put anything underneath Decode if he doesn't have to, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference because he's just going to use Purple Nightfall here to go ahead and search another copy of a Mekk Knight, and I think he ends up grabbing Blue Sky. But he is playing important to know, he is playing a Sky Striker engine in this version of Mekk Knight, just 3 copies of Hornet Drone, no Engage because we stay poor out here. Gotta play our scuffed Sky Striker engine. I think I'm playing 3 Hornet Drones, 2 Kagari, and 1 Hayate. I think that's what I'm running in the extra deck, or something along the lines of that. I would probably run Engage if like I said, I could afford the cards. Just don't want to drop that much money on some cardboard for a small engine. I mean, you know, I might as well just play the whole deck at that point, which I really don't have a desire to do. But this is one of my brother's first times playing Mekk Invoked. He played Invoked back when it was Winwitch engine was your main go-to. He played Invoked Winwitch for a long time. Ended up getting rid of the stuff, but now he's back to his sort of roots, playing Invoked Mekk Knight now. It's pretty much, as he said, the light engine that Mekk Knight's always, or Invoked always needed to be able to get Mekka so easily onto the field. But using Morningstar here, ditching Purple Nightfall, I believe, because I think he opened 3 copies of Purple Nightfall, if I'm not mistaken. But luckily, the rest of his hand was good enough to make a play here. I would say that effect failure was very, very clutch for that Moulin Glacier, because that might have done a number if I had hit the Alistair out of his hand and maybe something else. So he's going to grab World Legacy Succession, which can revive a monster in his graveyard to a zone a link monster points to, which he has 3 spots he could do that right now. He can use my Decode Talker as well if he wanted to. Waste no more time, go into Invocation, and go ahead and summon out that Mekka, banishing Valor, and of course Alistair, returning Alistair to the hand, and sending Invocation back to the deck. Then going to play that World Legacy Succession, or the World Legacy Suck, as I like to call it. It's just it's an interesting card. I think I'm playing it right now at 1 in Mekk Knight Invoked, just because it's searchable, and you really just only want to have it when you have this situation right here. When you have a link monster with zones that you have access to, and you have the ability to search that card out. Literally the perfect time to get it, and I think it's some reason you should play 1. And if anybody, I think somebody asked in the last video, the sleeves that both players are using are these prismatic effect sleeves from Imperium Duelist. I'm not sponsored by them, although that'd be pretty cool, because I love the sleeves. They look fantastic. They're like these prismatic effect sleeves, so pretty sure you can find them on their website, Imperium Duelist, or on eBay, which is where I bought mine a couple times. So a bit expensive for sleeves, but like they're durable and they look really cool. Like I don't know, I just think they're great sleeves. And just for any of those who are asking, I'm using them on the extra deck and main deck because they're just awesome sleeves. So I draw into a Rose Nyx with that controller in hand, really not adding anything to the situation there other than just making me brick even harder. So we just go ahead and scoop it up, and we go into game 2 here. And you wouldn't believe it. What happens? Do I open up really good? Of course not. Why would I? The Nimble Engine. Look at this. 3 one-ofs in my opening hand. Beaver, Sunfish, Ronin Totem. And we're saying, why are you playing the Nimble Engine? The Nimble Engine has proven time and time again to be useful to get me out of terrible situations more than it has been bad, right? You can't have a perfect engine. There's always going to be a time where you break. Don't be like Winter. What are you doing? You're still playing the Nimble Engine. I told you, cut that engine. No, I'm not cutting it. Sit down, delete that comment right now, okay? Nimbles equal easy link access, mid combos. They get you into Saryuja. Unfortunately, I had to normal summon Beaver because I just had to open Beaver and Sunfish. It's unfortunate. But what are you going to do? I know there's a Manta or something like that that summons something when it's sent from field, but I don't want to play that one because I don't have it and I don't feel like getting it. So we go into our trusty old faithful Decode Talker, Drone Lock Bird in hand. I'm praying to God I open a Neptibus next turn. He gets started here with the Meltdown. I have the Droll when he adds that Alistair. Please don't have Called by the Grave. He doesn't. I'm thanking God for a moment that he doesn't have it. And really, at this point, it's just a matter of top decking for me. Because he has so many cards in hand, he can just afford to set and pass. And it looks like he does have Ash Blossom in hand. So he's just chilling right now. And I've got to draw into a Atlantean Marksman, which is a blessing in disguise because I summon that right underneath the zone that Decode Talker is pointing to. Boost up my Decode Talker. I swing in, deal the 1400. After the 1400 is dealt, attempt to activate effect, which I believe it doesn't activate in damage set, but activates after damage calc. So I think he can Ash here. That's one thing this is why I'm like hesitating. I'm reading the card because I wasn't quite sure if it activates in damage set, but I don't think it does. Although I'm probably wrong and someone will let me know in the comments. Either way, it was accepted game state. Both players I'm terrible with rulings like that. So many steps, calculations, and phases, right? I can't keep track of it all, you know? So I swing in for 14. He has the Ash. I say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to say that can work. And then I swing in for 28. I'm dropping him down to 3,800 life points. I've got a big, beefy Decode Talker at 2,800. Which, in the grand scheme of things, isn't going to do too much, since if he's got any fusion with an Alistair in hand, he can easily run that over, especially Purg Trio, noticing he's got that Ash Blossom and Grave. Kind of quaking in my boots at the moment, but we see the Alistair come down. Doesn't need to play the other Meltdown, just kind of getting it out of the deck. And then Alistair searching for none other than Invocation. Probably going to set that card right down, make a Mekk-friendly column for Purple Nightfall. Going to activate its effect to banish itself to add another Mekk Knight from deck to hand, other than the one that he banished. So you're going to add Blue Sky. Very, very blue skies right now. There's not a cloud in sight. I'm going to set another card and special summon Blue Sky. And that will net him one other Mekk Knight, and this time he's going to grab Indigo Eclipse. Probably just trying to pack on as much damage as he can, because at this point he can very much OTK. I'm just hoping that he can't. I'm hoping that he maybe doesn't go for Purgatrio, and maybe he goes for Mekaba and tries to deal a little less damage and tries to play it a little bit more safe. Either way, with me being in a top decking situation still, honestly, either approach could probably win him the game at this point. He's got Meltdown, World Legacy's Memory in hand. I think he's debating on whether or not he wanted to use Morningstar's effect here to perhaps discard that Legacy to maybe search the secrets. Obviously can't search a World Legacy Succession because he has his set right now in that middle zone. Which is one thing that's great about that card, is if you open it, you can pretty much always get to Morningstar super easily with Alistair and any Mekk Knight. Granted, nowadays that might be like, I'm playing 2 Morningstar. I might just play 1 Morningstar and 1 Meltdown Invoker. I don't think playing 2 Meltdown Invoker is necessarily needed, if you ask me. But he's going to activate Invocation here, and debating on what to banish. And also keep in mind, he does have World Legacy Succession on his field set right now, and he can play it this turn. So technically, going for Purgatrio would leave that Blue Sky in his graveyard as a target to revive for World Legacy Succession. But again, I was telling somebody the other night in Twitch chat, they had a Mekk Knight build they wanted me to, or Mekk Knight Invoke build they wanted me to look over, and they were playing Dark Hole and Raigeki. And this is a prime example of why you don't really want to play Dark Hole or Raigeki in a Mekk Knight Invoke deck, or any deck really that has Mekk Knights in it, because that Decode Talker and that Marksman on my side of the field are creating zones for him in order to summon Mekk Knights. We saw him summon a Blue Sky and a Purple Nightfall because I still had those monsters left on my field. Granted, I could have linked down into a Cerberus or a Phoenix, which I wouldn't have been too much of a benefit because he still had, you know, access to Indigo Eclipse at some point. He could have just grabbed that off Purple Nightfall and just moved zones and tried to summon more. But he does go for Purgatrio here, like I said, leaving that Blue Sky in grave. And I can only imagine at this point he's going to revive it with that World Legacy Succession. We saw him activate and resolve another Meltdown, so that got him another Alistair hand. So right now, once he puts this Invocation back in his deck, he now has 2 Alistairs in hand. Now, Alistair's effective boost, a fusion, is not a hard once per turn. He can do it as many times as he wants, so long as he has the Alistairs in hand to back it up. And he's going to play World Legacy's Memory right now. Probably just to, there's real no purpose to do this right now, but it's just a bit of security. He can get that back to his hand during the end phase, if it's even going to go to the end phase at this point. I've got 8,000. Decode is at 28. Marksman is at 14. And Purgatrio is gaining 400, so it's at 27. But now it's gaining 2,000, so it's at 47. Swinging over for, like, I think I'll do the math here on the calculator. 23 over the Marksman. And then Purgatrio will lose 200, dropping down to 25. 45, I should say, over that. So that's 22. And then swinging with 24, 20, or 24, 2,000, and 2,000 from the 2 other Mekk Knights, which is game big time. So, and had a set called by there. I was top decking a Swap Frog, so that wasn't going to get me anywhere. But anyways, that's it for this duel. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video here today. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to get an updated Crusadia profile sometime soon, because the build that I uploaded last versus this new one that I have is completely different. I'm probably going to get some test hand videos with it as well, because it is just so fun to play. Quickly becoming one of my top favorite decks of all time. And I'm also going to be trying to get, once I get the new cards, the new card, I should say, for the Invoked stuff, I'm going to be getting an updated profile of that, as well as more duels on the way. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try to get more Crusadia and Mekk Knight duels going on, but thank you guys so much for watching. As always, WinnerKill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.